Welcome back to the Daily Dean. Right here is Monster Hunter World. It's another video game. Basically, you go around fighting monsters. In this case, I was trying to steal this wyvern's egg because I wanted to lure her out in order to fight her in the open. And now it was trying to kill me. So I'm not actually watching the clip now. I'm recording this audio separate. But I wanted to use this as a way to talk about the video game. The game, it's called, once again, Monster Hunter World. And I think it's a real banger. It's probably one of my favorite games as well, along with the Ancestors thing. I really enjoy it. Why do I enjoy it? Because it's about fighting giant freaking creatures. Who wouldn't want it? I know that I'm not done, making the clips together, but the fights that I'm gonna show you is first this dragon one. It lulls on a little bit, but then I'm gonna show you this like chicken bird thing. That's a second fight, much smaller than the dragon wyvern, but point being, there's a lot of variety in the monsters. Tons and tons of freaking like giant beasts to fight that I think make it really enjoyable. There's this awesome review I saw, but I'm here to endorse the game. Basically, I'll tell you the premise. It might sound repetitive. You go around fighting one creature, harvesting its organs and whatnot, and then making weapons out of it, then harvesting another creature and making weapons out of it and armor, and fighting another creature and making weapons and stuff out of it. But it's not really that grindy. I mean, it's a grind, obviously, but the game itself is really enjoyable. So there's variety in the monsters you fight. This wyvern versus the chicken thing, they both have different styles of fighting that you have to adjust to. The wyvern fights with poison and fire. The chicken fights with this rock thing and crap. But point being, the repetitiveness is put off by how varying each monster fight is. You have to prepare beforehand, researching the monster through the video game. You can find out things like the weaknesses the monster has, the things it fights with, the tactics you can use, the armor that it fights, the armor that is best suited for it. For example, since this dragon attacks with poison and fire, I had to get fire armor and poison armor. And since I know it's weak to blast damage, I had to get a specific insect glaive that resulted in blast damage. So, point being, you can really min-max a lot of the items and the equipment, mixing certain styles with other styles that make it far more enjoyable than just go from step A to step B to step C to step D. And there's also other things related to that. You have research points and quests and junk that is far more in depth than how I'm describing it. But point being, really enjoyable game. So why should you get it? What kind of person are you to get it? If you enjoy getting stronger and seeing your weapons and your damage and stuff deal damage and fighting things, especially the researching part is probably the most enjoyable for me, then this is probably definitely the game for you. I have nothing but positive things to say about it. It looks beautiful, so if you have a rig that can run it, that's great. It's also available on console, so not only PC, which is what I'm playing on, but it has a lot for the kind of person, person who likes playing strong fighting games. If it's made by Capcom, who is big, where it's big in Japan, and the whole sentiment that this series has had for I think the Monster Hunter series has been around, franchise has been around for a decade or two, and so it's just freaking great. And if you, once again, I'm really iterating the fighting part, because this game, while it has a story, the review that I'm probably going to link down below emphasizes that if you want a great writing game, check out Nier Automata or I don't know, Detroit Become Human. Because this game, while I like the writing, I like the story and stuff, it's really more about the fighting itself. So if you want, again, a story-driven game and not fighting-driven game, totally understandable, check out Nier Automata and, other junk. So, that. Now, what else can I say about this game to fill out the dialogue that I'm trying to talk about while I'm, trying to freaking reach the end? I'll talk about the actual thing that happened so far. because it says it's about 5 minutes. So probably you've already seen the monster fleeing mechanic. After you deal enough damage to the monster, it'll actually go flying away, and it won't attack you unless you sneak up on it. Now I edited out some parts where, like, you know, it shows the actual, like, more flying and like running away, but that's a big part as well. You want to be able to sneak up on a monster after it returns to its den, nest area where it's sleeping, because at that point you're able to, you know, you'll know that it's close to dying. And so that's the whole fleeing thing there. Why was I stealing an egg from the wyvern? Excellent question. It was to lure it out. I wanted the Rathian claws to make a better weapon out of it. And in order to get the claws, I had to find it. So then I thought, wow, okay, instead of trying to track it down, I'll just lure it to me by taking one of her eggs. So that's why I had an egg, and also because it gives you points. So that's that. Now, some other things you have, this game isn't quite open world. There's 5, like, sections I'm aware of, including, like, a DLC, like, called Iceborne, where it's, like, Arctic based. But the 5 areas are basically, like, open world maps, but they're not connected to each other. You fly to each of them through your world map, and so it's not really open world like Metro Exodus, for example, another game, but it's still got a huge feeling to it, so don't let that put you off, because there's a lot of stuff to explore in each map, each area, and I'm pretty happy so far with the exploration, and I enjoy open world games as well, so that's my preference, and I'm happy, satisfied with the open worldness of each individual map, because you get to, like, find out the nooks and crannies of each spot. And there's resource harvesting. You may eventually see me harvesting mining stuff. That's because some metals are useful in weapons and equipment and other junk, and so they have that mechanic in there as well for, you know, mining iron, mining something called like dragonite, mining something called, like, I think it's like macalite or other junk. But that's that. Now, what else can I say about the Rathian? Oh, the chicken thing, because now apparently we're about 6 minutes or 7 minutes. So this chicken thing has an interesting ability. It can grab junk. So the chicken will dig up rocks and try to block you with it as you hit it. So you have to watch out if you're using a melee weapon like I am here, because if you hit it, then it'll actually end up damaging your weapon. Your weapon has a certain amount of sharpness that if it gets damaged enough, it'll be blunt and it won't deal a lot of damage. So you have to watch out for accidentally bluntifying your weapon, because then you need to sharpen it using a whetstone. A whetstone is like something you carry around. It's totally free to sharpen it. There's no long-term lasting effects if your weapon gets blunt. So that's neat. And this chicken thing also has poison damage, so you gotta watch out for that. And researching more, I'm pretty sure it's weak to blast damage as well. I'm actually possibly making that up. I don't quite remember, but seeing as how this chicken is almost dead, you can actually notice it's limping. When it limps, it'll show, like, you know, it'll start crawling back to its nest. After it starts crawling back to its nest, you can deal, like, the final killing blows and end the chicken thing, which is right about here apparently. And so considering all of this, I would absolutely recommend this game. It's really enjoyable, really fun fighting mechanics, super satisfying, and 14 weapon types, so you can find out what suits for you. So do your research about this game as well. I'm only talking about it because I enjoy it, but that's pretty much it. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.